Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I have the Civivi Brigand here with me for a review. As usual, we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. Let's take another Civivi. I've got the Backlash right over here, very comparable in size. This is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And let's do it up against the Spyderco Tenacious, very comparable handle size and edge length over here. Also another Spyderco right over here, Para 3. So also you see just a tad smaller handle size, but much more edge length for the Brigand. Also another awesome knife. This is the North Arm Knives Skaha 2 in a bright orange, and just because this is one of my favorite blades, this is the Chris Reeve Knives Large Sebenza 21. And let's just do it also up against the Spyderco Chaparral because it's a little guy and I like it. So just to give you an idea of the size of this guy. So this is the Civivi Brigand, and I like it for several reasons. It's I like the design, guys. At the beginning, I was like, what is this? Like a Wharncliffe blade? I thought I would prefer more this clip point here on the Backlash, but honestly I like this guy, and we're gonna see why also compared to that in the comparison. But this is a nicely done liner lock made in China by Civivi. It has G10 scales with a nice pattern, nice woven kind of checkered pattern going on, and it's nice. I like it. Overall length of this guy is 8 inches. When it's closed, it's 4.5, and it has a nice feel to it. I think it's well put together. It's a nice liner lock, guys. The liners are stainless steel, blacked out and skeletonized. Yeah, look at this. They did a very nice job on the inside to reduce the weight. There's the flipper tab is beautifully designed. Look at this line, like this sweeping and going like that. So I think this is a very, very nice flipper tab design. For example, you can compare it almost to this guy, which is the best, I think, flipper tab ever. This guy is the Shirogorov Hati, by the way, and this is the perfect flipper tab, and you can see the resemblance. So this is very nicely done. You can do the same time like a push button or like a light switch, because there's nice jimping going on. So the light switch is gonna be very easy and very effective, as well as the push button. I really appreciate that. On the all around, there's chamfering going on. They milled out these scales very, very nicely, and the liners are also chamfered on the inside, so there's not really any sharp edge going on. Appreciate that. You've got your lanyard hole right over here, which is going through only the liners and the backspacer, not through the scales, and it's a nice touch. I like it. Even if I'm not gonna use the lanyard hole over here, but I like that they cut out right over here the scales in order to accommodate the lanyard hole. Very nice. I also like the backspacer is nicely lined up, pretty flush with the liners, and you can see the liners are a little bit, the scale is a little bit recessed from the liners in order to leave exposed the contour of these liners. I appreciate that. That's gonna reflect nicely in the grip, in the feel you're gonna have when handling this one. There's a little bit of lock disengage relief in order for you to disengage the lock bar like that, and it's jimped, so you're not gonna have any issues, even if I would have preferred for it to be a little bit more sticking out, but not a big deal. This guy has a pretty straightforward disassembly because it's using T8 for the pivot and for the handle screws, and the pivot is keyed in. It's captive, it's not spinning, so very nice job Civivi has done. It's actually doing with almost all their knives, so I appreciate that very much. The pocket clip, it's the classic Civivi deep carry pocket clip, stainless steel blacked out with these two cutouts, so you can use your T6 Torx bit screwdriver in order to remove this guy and place it on the other side. So it's going to be fully reversible and tip up only. Of course, you cannot put it like there, tip down, but the knife, it's not going to be ambidextrous because it's a liner lock. So yeah, it's made, in this case, it's just for your right hand. You can still do it like that, but it's a little bit more awkward if you're a lefty. The length of the blade is 3.5 inches. It has a nice Warncliffe design. This is the Chinese Damascus steel, and in this case you have an almost full flat grind. Almost, because you have a little bit of flat going on here, just a little smidge right there, and which conflues like up to the swedge over here at the top and ends like here. This is kind of like a reverse tanto, but it's a Warncliffe, and it has basically all full belly up to the sharpening choil, which also is a finger choil because it's nicely rounded off. Look at that, guys. This is nice. This is a nice design. I appreciate that. You can choke it up pretty well with this guy. Also, what I appreciate is the stock thickness being quite thin, and also if you see right over here, it's not too thin to the tip. You see, it's like that, and then it gets thin from this point, but still retaining some sturdiness up to this point. I wouldn't pry anything because it feels a little bit delicate, this tip right over here, but it's nice. I like it. You can see that the edge over here, it's a little bit, it's not sharp, I would say, but it's not that rounded off. Whereas on top over here, there's a nice swedge going on, and it's better done. Also, the plunge grind, I really appreciate how it's not abrupt, it's just smooth and arched like that, in order for you to have very, very slicing power. And check out how thin behind the edge this blade is. Beautiful, guys. This is very, very nice. I also appreciate that there's no billboarding going on, and it leaves like a pretty clean look to the overall knife. Very, very well done. Something that I'm not like extremely satisfied is the sound. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice clack, but I think it's anonymous. It doesn't have any character. It's not stylish. I don't know how to describe it. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but nothing special. It's a common sound. It's not unique, let's say. But overall, I appreciate that the closing sound, because it gives you like that feeling of being securely closed in the handle. So that's nice. The weight of this guy is going to be 3.43 ounces. When you squeeze the handle, the feeling you're going to get, it's a little bit of a hot spot brought up by the clip ramp over here. Other than that, this is digging a little bit right over here in my hand, but other than that, the handles are nicely contoured. I appreciate the contouring going on over here, the rounded off, the chamfering of the liners. It's a very nice job. So the reverse grip is going to be a little bit small. I mean, not ideal for my hands because I have big hands, but it's going to be all right. You're going to have a little bit of finger guard going on over here. And overall, this guy feels all right. I mean, you can still feel that it's flexing under some pressure, so it's not like the most solid knife there is out there. But the texture it has is going to confer some nice grippiness to your purchase, and that's a good thing. I don't also see any like relevant gaps going on around, so it's overall well put together. I appreciate that the backspacer is absolutely flush with the liners, and just follows the edge over here in a pretty cool way. So very, very nice. Something, I told you that I don't like that much is that clip ramp over here. It's giving like a hotspot into my hands, and the strength, the clip retention is very strong. So this is going to be safely glued into your pocket. Also, the deployment speed, it's nice because the flipper tab is very nicely designed. So this is gonna deploy quite fast. It's not the fastest of them all, but it's nice. And you're not gonna have any kind of sort of finger sore because of the jimping and the curvature this flipper tab has. So very, very nice. Overall, their action is pretty smooth. This guy is running on bearings, they're caged, and I just put some nano oil in order to have this pretty smooth action going on right over here. The detent is on the medium side, not too strong, not too light, it's nicely dialed in. Something I would have preferred, a little bit more cut out here in order to disengage the lock bar more easily, but if you just angle your thumb like that, you can just push it that way and you're gonna be able to close it with no issues whatsoever. There is not really any lock stick going on. You don't have a detent ball ramp. In fact, you have this detent bump. You feel the hard step, but as soon as you release the disengage the lock bar, you see you have the blade free falling, and you need to wiggle a little bit in order for the blade to fall shut. So no, not really guillotine effect. Detent suction is very, very low. But overall, guys, this is a nicely designed knife. I like the blade shape. I really appreciate the grip. The sound is not the best, but overall it's pretty good. For $90, I think you can't go wrong. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.